This the Black Powder Podcast. Kick up your feet, lean on your armrest, and get your mind blessed on this conquest. Hold a grip like a 12 gauge. Let this moment kick. Black people moving and having some gun ownership. I carry weight, not to keep the camera safe. It's thinking about you, my kids and my parents' faces. The big topics they don't wanna involve us. Think we're novice, but now we're moving hard with revolvers. This the Black Powder Podcast. Let's get it started.
Primers hit, the powder's lit. It's time to get on target. Welcome to another episode of the Black Powder Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Yosuke Fett. And just a general reminder of your marching orders and why we have created the Black Powder Podcast. The main mission is to change the social view of black society and firearms. How do we do that? Glad you asked. We talk, walk, read, write, and think about it to find a better solution for a brighter future for the proper protection of black people. Join us through education, practice, and safety as we take down the stigma of black people and guns, one discussion at a time. Just a general reminder, you cannot do a mag dump without a couple of rounds. So if you like what you're hearing and you happen to like this show, send out an email to blackpowderpodcast@gmail.com and let me know what your favorite episode is. Whether or not you agree, disagree, or have questions, please make sure to send them to blackpowderpodcast@gmail.com. And always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. The only way to continue to grow is to continue to share this knowledge with other people. And the only way to even get the message out is to let everyone know. So once again, if you like what you heard and would like to continue to hear, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, you can find us on multiple platforms, especially main ones. As of recently, we are now on Spotify, Apple iTunes, Google Podcast, Amazon Music, and Audible.
So yeah, man, it's never enough for you to only be your own sounding board. I totally get you. And when you speak of the lone wolf example, I totally get that also, because I'm an only child. So I'm from a position to where there was no one there, even if I wished or wanted someone to be there. So I totally get you on both aspects of that. And I have to admit, even though I was forced to have to deal with a lot of things on my own, it's always been beneficial when there was someone else, though. When there was someone else, or a pack like you're talking about, a tribe, a family, a crew. But trying to find a crew that thinks like you do, which could be different than the stereotypical norm, it's hard sometimes for black men. It's hard for us to find people who don't think like who don't think that certain things you do or have to be white, or if you speak a certain way, that has to be white, or something like that. It's hard to find people who aren't drawn into those stereotypes. So that's why when you do, we cling to them, and we see them as being wise or different or whatnot.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, man. One of my biggest influences, because he's in the Air Force. His name was Alex. He passed away around the time I was getting my divorce. So I think that was back in 2017. And that one hit me hard, man, because he was a much older guy. He spoke from wisdom and just his experience and everything. And you don't really, like you said, in our society, sometimes you don't really see that, because you might come across somebody where they're speaking one thing, and then because we were taught to respect our elders and everything, you're sitting back saying, yeah, okay. But in the back of your mind, you're like, I don't think I agree with this, and I don't know if I should be really listening to this person. But I respect them because they're old.
Right. Yeah, I've been there too.
Yeah, that ain't the vibe, man. That shouldn't be the vibe anymore. Because, like, if somebody's providing damn good information and they got a foundation to back it up on, I can respect them because of that. But you can have somebody grow up and be ignorant and be an idiot, not have any wisdom, and they could be, I don't know, 75 years old, and they're expecting to get that respect simply because of the fact that they're old. Yeah, I can't give that.
No, hell no. I totally agree with you there too, man.
Yeah.
Not when you're wise enough to know better or know that there are other ways or there are other options or that what they're talking about just isn't hidden. I totally get you and agree with you on that part, man.
Yeah, because
age alone isn't the end all, the be all to say that you know what the hell you're talking about or what you're doing.
Right, because it's like, to me, it's like if you take a older person, right? Because in our society, and for the record, I'm talking about politics, but I don't really consider myself Democrat or Republican. My main focus is to vote on black issues. What's going to benefit us? Because for so long we've been lied to, and we've been told so many promises and all this other stuff to the point where we over here looking like that Charlie Brown cartoon where everybody else getting all this good candy. We sitting here we can't even get a single damn rock. We got an empty bag. But it's almost like that person is sitting back saying, vote Democrat, vote Republican. Why? Because it was good enough for us. It was good enough for my grandmother, and it should be good enough for you too. Like, if I'm not seeing any tangibles or anything that's really going to help us out, why am I going to continue to vote that? You're not coming to me with any logical, logical thought process. You're just telling me I got a good feeling about it this year. Fuck your feelings. I need something I can work with. And I'm sorry, man, but feelings nowadays, yeah, everybody's got them, but you can't always rely on somebody else's feelings, man.
Right.
Just like you as much as you might want to, sometimes you really can't keep the people that you used to rock with because the mentality might have changed. Like you were saying earlier, that's that white boy shit. You shouldn't be doing that. Okay, cool. So the people I'm rocking with has got that old mentality. But I want to grow and expand. But I can't do that if I'm still stuck with these people that are trying to keep me on this level. Like, I want to get to a better level. So I think sometimes you gotta cycle out that wolf pack, man. I mean, it might suck, but if people don't see what you're trying to do and where you're trying to move, it's only gonna hold you back.
Exactly, bro. And when I noticed that, when I was old enough to realize that, I couldn't see myself doing it anymore. I had to get out of the wolf pack or around those whose ways just weren't conducive with where I knew that I wanted to go. Mm-hmm. And I think that's probably some of the best, one of the best things that any of us could do is to get to your whatever your true self is and where your true self finds you need to be. You get there, man. Don't let BS like that or like that mindset hold you back or get in the way, man. Life's too short for that. And you'll know it. You'll know it, especially when you think to yourself like, damn, I am missing out on this. And why am I missing out? Because of that mindset that I let, trap me or whatever, or because of those comments that I let trap me, or because of that stereotype that I let trap me. No, I couldn't do that. I mean, if there was certain stuff I wanted to do, like, I don't know, or be a part of, I had to go ahead and do that, man. I don't care what anybody else was saying about it. And then, that does that can put you in an isolating position. But in the end, it's a matter of like, what can you personally live with and be happy with?
Yeah, that part right there. Because I don't really think we're taught how to be happy. Like, you say you find your peace by camping and hunting and just being outside and doing what you're familiar with. But the average person is out there and, they're not really following through on even small dreams that they might have. It's also, in my opinion, because we come from a culture we come from a society that's like, somebody will say quotes like, if you love something, let it go. If it comes back, it was meant to be yours. If it doesn't, it was never meant to be yours. To me, that is a crock of bullshit. Why are we teaching people to let something go that they love? And I'm not saying like be obsessed with it to the point where you're like borderline stalkerish, but if you know you had a good thing and you're willing to fight for that good thing, why not fight to keep that good thing instead of just saying, yeah, okay, cool. Heads you win, tails you lose. We'll see. You'll either be back or you won't. It's like, nah. You're teaching. We're being taught to lose.
Oh, you just said a big one right there, bro. Damn. You're right. Damn, you just said big words right there.
And it's already, because again, like I said, I like different types of music. I used to listen to Motorhead. One of Motorhead's sayings was, born to lose. Because no matter what, you're going to lose because you're going to die. So we already got that counting against us. But why continue to add on to that by teaching yourself to lose,
Right.
Like we can do so much better. But it's just the stuff out there that's preventing us from moving forward and doing that properly. That's why, like you said earlier, you taught yourself to do things that will benefit you. And look at where you're at now. And I got to commend you for that, man, because like there's stuff that I want to do, that I need to follow up on. Like, for example, I need to get back into the range. Last time, no, I'll do even one better. The time before last, because I think I went sometime earlier last month, maybe mid last month to the range. But the time before last was July during the Naga National. That was the last time I went to the range. And yeah, man, my skills, I'm still a newbie at shooting, but my skills, I could easily see how bad I was doing, and now I could identify what I was doing wrong, but nonetheless, I just didn't like seeing that deterioration. So,
yeah,
I got to hit the range hard. I got to hit the gym hard. I got to hit these books harder because my goal is to ultimately become a firearm instructor. Not just so I can make money, but because it's one thing I want to offer to Black society, because it loops back to like, when you go on YouTube, you see a black face talking about firearms, it's usually some stereotypical gangster shit, Yeah. You don't see somebody who's sitting there calm, cool, collected, and going through, I don't know, how to strip and clean your firearm, or like how to properly load your firearm, other things like that. Moving targets, that's another thing we don't see, because the average person thinks that because they have a firearm, they're good. You're not going to be able to do what that dude up in Greenbrier Mall, not Greenbrier Mall, the mall up in, I think Ohio or somewhere out in the east, right, where the dude took out the guy who was going to do a shooting in the mall. I think it was like he took him out from 100 yards away or something like that with a handgun. It was something like that. The average person isn't going to be able to do that. That requires training and following the positive intentions that you have to get better at something. So keep doing what you do, man.
Yeah. That was well said, bro. I agree with that totally.
I'm not trying to give a TED talk, but I mean, shoot. Speaking of hunting, man, I mean, like, because like you said, we don't see a lot of black faces in that sector. Like it, tell us, what are some of the good stories you got about hunting? And how'd you
Oh
get into
man.
it?
I got in. Let's see. I got into it because I saw that the weapons that I was used to using and the equipment that I was used to using and that I already knew how to use, I was seeing that the most, I don't know, positive or fun way that it was being utilized was in hunting hogs. So, I mean, you can have a rifle, right? But you don't really have a reason to need thermal vision or to need night vision unless you're going to do something that involves, night vision and thermal vision. And so when I saw that, okay, hunting does involve hunting wild hogs does have that involved in it, does have night vision and does have rifles, does have silencers, does have thermal and night vision imaging involved. I knew that that's what I needed to be a part of. And so I went after it. I studied up as much as I could on what it was like to hunt the hogs, what it takes, what baits needed, how to skin them, if they're edible or not, that sort of stuff. And
Yeah, that part.
yeah, and I knew that I knew that I wanted a gun again with thermal vision on it, and with I wanted to be able to use night vision goggles, whether I was using a helmet or just holding them in my hand. I knew that was what I wanted and that was what I needed in my life. And I went and got it. I went after it. Damn what anybody else says or thinks. They don't understand that, for one, that's something that a lot of what I do, man, a whole lot of what I do is what I just consider in my mind to be military stuff. So I get it from the larger perspective. You're looking at it and it's like, no, that's what this race does, that's what that race does, that sort of thing. But to me, it's all about what's military. What does the military do? What could I do that was still similar to what I was doing as a Marine? So once I look at something as like, oh, I'm doing Marine stuff, I don't care what it is then. I really don't give a damn. If I'm fishing and I feel I'm fishing in a Marine way, then damn it, that's what it is. If I'm hunting and I'm getting to use my thermal vision again or whatever, just like I used to in the war, I don't care if it looks like whatever race or this or that way of doing it. I'm doing what I know to be home and to be what I've been taught and trained to do well from the military. So I look at a whole lot of things as just being military things. But then I had to, open my eyes. Well, when you say something's military, okay, you're actually saying it's this race, it's that race. So I own that and I accept that. But like I said, if it's something that I have a passion for, I let none of that kind of BS get in my way of my passions, bro. I can't. Life is too short.
Yeah, you're right.
You'll find yourself. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like saying, oh, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna eat this, or I'm not gonna have fun, or I'm not gonna enjoy this just because people say that that's a white thing, or that's another race thing. Life's too short for that, man. I'm not gonna sit here wishing that I was doing that, or wishing that I learned that, or wishing that I tried that when I was young enough. When no, life's too short for that kind of stuff, man. And I can't rock that way. I really can't.
I get it, man. There's a lot of things I want to do because, honestly, I used to be a gamer, man. Now, granted, I still game every now and then, but, like, if I would have known I was going to be so involved in, like, firearms, because it's not like I got, like, this obsession with them. It's just, like, the interest in what you can do and what you need to know and so on and so forth, because you need to know how to take care of yourself, protect your family, be able to provide and get food, so on and so forth. And it's got me wanting to branch out and do other stuff too. Like I got a friend of mine, he does gardening, and he teaches the community, and he'll actually help people get started, so on and so forth. I've always wanted to go and watch him and learn from him. You know, I just had crazy schedules lately, but that's going to be another goal of mine, to learn how to garden, just like learning how to hunt. I really want to do that. But the thing that kind of discourages me is the same thing like, what was that thing called? Nintendo 64 when it came out, right? It was $200 even. And everybody's like, ooh, I don't know if I can spend $200 on the Nintendo 64. So then they went back and knocked off a penny on that sucker, right? I'm going somewhere with this. Hang on. They knocked a penny off of the price. So it was $199.99. Okay? Fast forward to today. You know that Hollow Sun, that I think it's it's not a scope, it's a sight, right?
Yep.
I think it's a red dot.
Yeah, the Hollow Sun. I've seen it.
Did you see the one that's got the night vision? And I think it also has thermal.
No, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to find a link and send it to you, man. But I'm like, wow, because I think they showed it at SHOT Show last year. So I'm like, wow, I want that. And what was cool about it was the fact that they had the regular dot, right? And I can't remember if they just changed the settings on it with a knob or a button or what. And this was like as people were walking through the convention. So,
oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about now.
Yeah, so it went from like night vision to like
thermal,
and then it like it was just cut out to the people. So you saw the people moving, but it was like a clear sight. I mean, dude, that thing was cool. So I got curious, right? I went to Optics Planet, and I typed in Hollow Sun, and I think I also typed in night vision, thermal, whatever. So I found it. You want to know how much it is?
What's up?
Is $1,999.99. Just make the damn thing $2,000, okay?
Yeah. I feel you on that.
I'm like, one day, man, I can't get that thing right now, but something tells me if I get the night vision, then I also got to make sure I got like the thermal laser and everything, because I think from the civilian standpoint, because I don't have military experience, but I do try and study and I do try and learn about certain things. But, you know, me personally, I don't like lasers on my firearms. It's one thing if it's like a laser that I've got the equipment to see, which I don't. So to me, it doesn't make any sense for me to put a laser on a firearm and just, beam it out and try and line up my target with that laser. I'm a fan of flashlights, but not lasers. I mean, that's just my thinking, because I don't want people to know where I'm at.
Okay, that's a good point. That's a real good point.
You know, flashlight, okay, cool. Boop. You know, hit the button once to see what's going on. I can move around. A laser, personally, if I have to use a laser, and let's just say it's broad daylight, right? If I got to use a laser to line up my target, I might need to go back and work on my training, because ain't nobody got time to sit there and spend 3 minutes or whatever trying to line up the laser just right, because they're not accounting for the minutes of accuracy or the bullet drop or the distance or any of that, you know?
Yeah.
It's just treating it like a first person shooter. Okay, I'm lined up, it should go now. Like, nah, there's a lot more to it.
Yeah.
There's levels to this.
Yeah, that's a good point, bro.
That's just how I think about it, you know. It kind of reminds me, because I was trying to get around to watching, I think it was episode 68 that you put out, where you were talking about what was it exactly? It's like people who create firearm content, you'd much rather see people who have experience in it versus like somebody who doesn't. Am I thinking
Yeah,
right?
I have to admit, I realized I was a little bit wrong in that though. All right. And I say I was wrong because I was not accounting for entertainment. You will always have this little back and forth going between what's tactical and what's entertainment, bro. And I was saying that from a tactical standpoint, but the truth is, man, if somebody else is entertained by someone else for whatever reason, then that's cool, man. That's fine. You know what I mean? If that you can't help why people like who they like or how or what reasons or anything like that.
Yeah.
So my only point initially was that I was trying to say that of all the influencers that I was running into, I expected somewhere in there for the backgrounds that I heard to be more gun and combat related. I expected them to be more infantry or special ops related or SWAT team or something. And I wasn't hearing any of that. So that's when I had to realize, okay, social media or popularity or entertainment, man, that's its own category, man. You can't look at it like only this type of individual should be leading it, or only that sort of individual should be who you follow. Because the point is, entertainment is its own different beast.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? People, if something is funny to you, or you for whatever reason you have an affinity towards someone, that's like unexplainable. That's, they might not have this or have that, but they are entertaining, bro. So I can never knock a person for or knock their hustle because of the way I was looking at things before. So yeah, I did say that, and I did have that mindset on that and that at that particular moment. But I've come to open my eyes and realize, like, it's one of those things where I'm looking at tactical versus entertainment.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, because after hearing you say it, I had to sleep on it because I was like, he's got a point, because if I'm watching somebody that's actually been in combat and everything, and they're coming at me with the experience point of view, then I definitely understand it, and I definitely want to learn more from that. And I can see where you're coming from with the entertainment aspect too, but one of the downsides of the entertainment aspect is the fact that the average person who is consuming that entertainment sometimes is going to think that entertainment is real life.
It's real. Yeah, you're damn right. You're right.
Yeah, because like after the John Wick movie came out, man, I mean, how many social media channels opened up with the last name Wick on it? It was like Wick.
Yeah.
Black Guns Education Wick, Black Gun Shooter Wick, the Rambo Wick, and Rambo's another one. It's like not trying to take no shots at nobody, but it's like it's all part of that Dunning-Kruger effect, man. Because when somebody's trying to entertain and they're not really setting the precedent that this is just entertainment, say for example like video games, right? I grew up playing Doom, Wolfenstein, a whole bunch of first-person shooters. But there was always that thinly veiled layer of, hey, this isn't real. This is just a video game. There was something that would always hark back to reality to let you know that none of this is real. Don't expect to be running down a hallway shooting a giant gun that shoots out green lasers or whatever. I mean, there was something there to remind you that it wasn't real. But the problem with the entertainers, like we said, is the average person who sees it is going to think this is real and, oh, okay, cool. So I should be able to replicate this. I'll give you a really good example. There was some dude on YouTube who, I can't even remember his name because it's probably something Wick, like I said. I mean, at this point, Wick is the firearm form of the rapper's name start with Little, you know? So this dude was going through showing his firearm, right? And I think it was a rifle. So he had on his plate carrier, and he was, quote unquote, clearing his house. So supposedly the assailant that he was trying to find was in his garage, right? Now you said earlier, if I remember right, that you've cleared buildings before, right?
Oh yeah, too many.
So you know the proper way to do it. You got to pie through the door and everything. You can't just push your body out there and then start looking, right?
Right.
That's exactly what the dude was doing. He didn't pie the corner right. Now, granted, I'm not an expert at clearing rooms or anything, but I'm just looking at it from the fact that the way he did it, he would have been shot at least several times before he found his quote-unquote assailant. So if that's what people who are trying to be entertained are consuming, then what are they teaching themselves to? So I guess,
okay.
Long story short, I can agree more so on how you were looking at it beforehand, because like if I want to see firearms for entertainment, you know, because I've seen Mark Chopper, Black Rambo, Jay the Shooter, a couple other people, you know, especially Mark Chopper whenever he has like you know, God, what was it? It was like the range day around 4th of July.
Chopper Day.
Right. You know, that's entertaining. That's cool. Not saying he doesn't have any educational stuff on there. You know, I still got to go through his channel and everything. But nonetheless, if I'm there for entertainment, that works out. But if I'm not trying to consume any of his educational content, then I'm not doing him a service. If anything, I'm doing him a great disservice, because I'm looking at it like the only thing this man has to offer is entertainment value.
This the Black Powder Podcast, let's get explicit. We got the wisdom hitting targets with a marked with precision. We're having fun in the booth, we're running gun for the truth. Every future black gun owner was spreading the news. We do illegal, we're moving regal and blessing the people. Some hopes for the culture, we keep it locked like guns in our holster. Holding it down as we're loading the rounds. If they were nervous back then they're gonna be scared of us now. Black Powder Podcast, we'll be back in a while.